Hello guys and welcome back to Planet 40k, the Necrons channel. Now in today's video we've got a request from one of the members, which was to do a unit review for the Cryptothralls, and that member was Propaganda, so shout out to you. And if you want to become a member, you know what to do by now. You click the join button down below and you can make things such as make requests for videos and things like that. There's lots of other perks and privileges. But let's get into today's video, which is the Cryptothralls. Now we're going to be going through the review, the datasheet, and of course give a Planet 40k rating at the end of the video. So stick around for that. And of course, if you don't agree, let me know down in the comments below. It is just my opinion and playstyle at the end of the day. But yeah, maybe yours is completely different. Right, so let's get into the date card. And we're looking on the rear side as per usual. And we're going to be looking at the points to begin. It's 40 points for the pair. You're going to be getting 2 Cryptothralls, and they are all equipped with the Scouring Eye and Scythe limbs. Now they've got the Cryptek retinue on the back of their data card, so we're going to go through that and explain exactly what this does. So at the start of the declare battle formation step, this unit can join one other unit from your army that is being led by a Cryptek infantry model. A unit cannot have more than one Cryptothralls unit to join it. If it does, until the end of the battle, every model in this unit counts as being a part of the bodyguard unit. Very important, that part. We'll get onto that later in this video. So the bodyguard unit's starting strength is increased accordingly. So as an example, if your Cryptek model was a part of a 20-man Necron brick, you could put these guys in there. That will be a 22-man brick, if you like, because that will increase the starting strength of that unit. In fact, it'll be 23 because you've got the Cryptek there as well. And if you want to further boost that with one of your nobles, you can do that to 24. So it gets kind of confusing, but of course you can only add one pair of these bucket bots per unit. Now as these are not leaders, you can still, as we just mentioned, you can still add your noble as well as the Cryptek as well as these Cryptothralls, because they're not leaders, they're literally just being added to the bodyguard unit. Now let's flip that card over and let's check out some of the stats and the abilities and all that stuff and kind of compare it to 9th edition, but also explain how good it is for 10th. So the movement, 5 inches, pretty standard, pretty slow, but yep, that's what it was. The toughness has gone down to toughness 4. But to be honest, this doesn't really matter. The reason being is you're joining a unit of, say, Necron warriors. The toughness was going to go down to toughness 4 anyway, because you have to go on the majority of the actual models in that unit. If you are joining Lich Guard perhaps, or Immortals, then your toughness is effectively toughness 5, because you're now part of that bodyguard unit. So the toughness is kind of irrelevant, so I wouldn't worry so much about that. The save is a 3+ armor save, they've got 2 wounds, leadership 8+, and the objective control is 1. So apart from the toughness going down, again doesn't really matter, the stats are pretty much as they were. Now the range attacks, there's a few changes to the range attacks. They've got the Scouring Eye, which are not pistols anymore, so they can't be fired into engagement range, and also they've halved the range. In fact, they used to be 12 inch, they're now only 6 inch range. So you're not going to expect too much from these. 2 shots each, so you're getting a total of 4 shots. Ballistic skill is a 4+, strength 5, -1 AP, so not -2 anymore, and 1 damage. Again, don't expect anything from these. You might get lucky and chip off a wound or so, but yeah, you can't really rely on them. The melee side of the weaponry, the scythe limbs, you used to get 3 attacks, it's now 4. So you've gained an attack there per model, so you're going to gain 2 attacks for the mini unit if you like. Whip skill 4+, strength 5, -1 AP, 1 damage. But again, to be honest with you, don't expect too much from them. Now, in 9th edition, they used to have the ability where if there was a Cryptek within close proximity, I can't remember how many inches it was now, then it buffed the ballistic skill and the weapon skill value. You don't have that in 10th edition, so that's not a thing anymore. And they were pretty decent for 40 points in terms of the damage output. You know, 40 points, what can you expect really? They had some good shots and they were okay in melee, but now they're pretty much not doing much. Now as for the abilities, which is the main part of why you would take Cryptothralls, well, the core ability first of all, the 4+ Feel No Pain save. Now bear in mind that they are joining a bodyguard unit. So what you would be doing is you would be effectively taking the hits on these guys first, because they've got the 4+ Feel No Pain save, and as they are part of the bodyguard unit, you can reanimate them. So as soon as you hit reanimation protocols, you can bring these guys back because they're part of that bodyguard unit. So yeah, you want to be tanking all the shots on these guys to begin. Now they've also got reanimation protocols, we just mentioned. Bound Creation, which is while this unit is in the same unit as a Cryptek, which you should have that anyway. Then the Cryptek model in the unit also has the Feel No Pain 4+ save. Again, very nice. If you've got someone like Orican the Diviner perhaps, who's got a 4+ invulnerable save, that's going to be handy, having a 4+ invuln save and a 4+ feel no pain save. Things such as Epic Challenge from the core stratagems, that could be something that will save these kind of characters. Having that 4+ feel no pain save is pretty good. Then you've got the Systematic Vigor. Each time a model in the unit is destroyed by a melee attack, if that model was not fought this phase, roll a d6 on a 3+, don't remove it just yet, you can still attack with it. Now that's only really useful for Lichguard. I mean, yes, you can attack with Warriors and Immortals, but it's not really what they're meant to be. If they're within engagement range, you've not shielded them good enough, I suppose. So really it's about the Lichguard there, but it's a bonus. If you're doing it with the Warriors, hey, you're doing it with the Warriors, right? But your Lichguard, you've got a 1 in 3 chance, no, you've got a 2 in 3 chance, in fact, because it's a 3+, of being able to still fight even though you've lost the models. That's okay, that's pretty good. So yeah, you're basically making use of that 4+ feel no pain save by killing off your Cryptothralls first, reanimating them, but just by using that feel no pain save on these guys, you're going to parry away a few bits of damage, and therefore it's going to keep your Warriors up a little bit better. I mean, they're quite easy to get up anyway, but you just don't want to lose the entire unit, do you? So it's just giving you a little bit more resiliency to an already very resilient unit. Now, a few methods of getting these guys back up along with your, say, Warriors or Lichguard is Post-Glove Undying Legions. I wanted to mention this stratagem to begin. In your opponent's shooting phase or in any of the fight phases, once you lose a single model, it could be the Cryptothrall perhaps, could be a Warrior, whatever, you can basically trigger reanimation protocols and it'll be D3+1 wounds if you've got a character within the unit. That's one way of getting them back pretty quickly. You've also got the Reanimator, the Cryptic Reanimator for an extra D3, the Overlord with a Resurrection Orb for your triggering reanimation protocols in your opponent's command phase, and of course Ghost Darts, which only relate to Necron Warriors, but these guys could potentially be a part of the Necron Warriors as a bodyguard unit. So lots of ways to get these guys up once they go down. Now I wanted to mention some of the Crypteks that are available. In fact, I'll go through all of them, I may as well while we're here, right? Go through all the Crypteks, why you would take these Crypteks. Now we'll probably do a separate video on what the best Crypteks are. Maybe do a little tier list or something, but for now I just want to go through them and how they relate to the Cryptothralls. So first of all, the Plasmancer, which is my go-to at this moment in time. The Harbinger of Destruction ability, so you're getting the unmodified hit rolls of a 5 to score critical hits. That could be good for Gorse weapons, of course, lethal hits. And of course, with the... not so much for the Lichguard, I suppose, unless you're buffing them in some sort of way. Maybe you've got... is it Nemesis Andrek that can give them a random ability with a roll of a dice? Whether it could be devastating wounds, which won't happen, it won't matter too much, but lethal hits could be there, sustain hits could be there. So that could apply to Lichguard as well, but mainly it's for Warriors and Immortals. And you've also got Living Light in to throw out mortal wounds. So that's one option that you could use to protect. You want to protect this guy basically. That's the whole point of the Cryptothralls. So you're giving him a 4+ feel no pain save, as well as making the entire unit a bit more resilient. The Technomancer, of course, that's another defensive Cryptek anyway. Now he gives a 5+ feel no pain save to the entire unit. Now he's already going to have a 4+ feel no pain save, and the Cryptothralls have already got a 4+ feel no pain save. So it kind of feels a little bit clashed, but you're giving it to the entire unit there, so it's not that bad. And also he's going to be healing Necron units within 3 inches, D3 lost wounds. Now that again won't apply to Warriors and Immortals, but potentially it could be Lichguard and other friendlies that are within 3. The Chronomancer for the -1 to the hit roll, which is another defensive-minded Cryptek, I suppose. It was more offensive in 9th edition, wasn't it? Given the invuln save and the rerollable charge and all that stuff. Now it feels like more of a defensive Cryptek, -1 to the hit roll at range, and also the move and fire thing with the Chronometron ability. I think that's more defensive because you can shoot and then basically get into cover, get into a terrain feature. That to me is defensive. And the the Psychomancer, which I thought this would be good this edition, and it's just kind of still stinky, isn't it? You're basically giving a -1 to leaderships within 9 inches, and you're forcing battle shot within 18 inches in the shooting phase. Whatever, right? And then, in fact, we got to mention Orican the Diviner here. Orican the Diviner gives the entire unit a 4+ invulnerable save. So when you're stacking that with the 4+ feel no pain save, that's pretty good. And of course the stars are right to make him become a bit of a monster for that fight phase. Now there is one other Cryptek that is available to us, which is Illuminazares. Now, unfortunately, the Cryptothralls are not going to pair with him because he is not leading any units. Now, I know a unit can be led with the enhancement, but that's not the same thing. You need to be leading a unit, and he doesn't lead any units, so therefore the Cryptothralls are not going to interact with him in that way. But to be honest with you, you probably don't need it anyway. He's already got his own 4+ Feel No Pain save, as well as the lone operative, so you don't really need to do it, is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, let's talk about that battlefield role for the Cryptothralls, and I mean, we've kind of alluded to quite a lot of it already in this video, but you're pretty much just throwing them into a unit just for an extra layer of defense. There's 2 more models that your opponent has to go through to completely remove the unit so that it breaks our reanimation protocols, and they've got Feel No Pain, so that's going to make it more difficult, and you're giving the character Feel No Pain, which makes it even more difficult. So you're keeping those resurrection orbs up, for example, on your lords and overlords. So yeah, these guys are pretty good. Now, there is a little bit of a discussion going online at the moment with regards to the Fight on Death ability. What was it called again? Let me remind myself. It was called the Systematic Vigor ability. Now, let's say these Cryptothralls join some Lich Guard, and the Cryptothralls go down. The question is, have we lost the ability? I'm not entirely sure, to be honest with you. You're going to have to help me out if you do know the answer to this, because on one hand you can say, well, the Cryptothralls aren't there, so the ability is gone. But on the other hand, they've joined a bodyguard unit, and each time a model in this unit is destroyed by melee attack, da-di-da-di-da. So it's like, basically, if you go back to the Cryptek retinue ability on the back of the data card, and it says this unit can join one unit from your army that is being led by an infantry character, and until the end of the battle, every model in that unit counts as being part of the bodyguard unit. That's the part that's getting me, so it's a part of the unit. And then if you go forward towards the Bound Creation ability, for example, when this unit is in the same unit as a Cryptek, the Cryptek gets a 4+ Feel No Pain save. Or the Systematic Vigor, each time a model in this unit is destroyed. So the entire unit, in my opinion, actually gets... They're one unit now. So I don't know the answer, guys. Do you lose all those abilities when the Cryptothralls go down, or is the abilities on the entire unit, as it kind of says in the rear of the data card? I don't know. We'll leave that for another day, I think, because we're going to go around in circles with that. Yeah, let's move into the pros and cons for the Cryptothralls, starting with the pros. Dirt cheap, only 40 points. I mean, it's the same sort of points as the Cryptic Scarab, so every time I'm doing my list and I've got, say, 40 points or 80 points spare, I'm kind of looking at those 2 units right now. Do I want a little mini screen, or do I want some more Cryptothralls to add to my units for the resiliency? That's the question and dilemmas I'm currently having. They've got a 4+ Feel No Pain save, which is nice. They're also granting Crypteks the 4+ Feel No Pain save, also very nice. The majority of the Crypteks are good. I'm not going to mention the Plasmancer in there, not the Plasmancer, that's the good one. I'm not going to mention the Psychomancer in there, but all the others are pretty good, pretty usable. And they can be reanimated very easily. I've gone through all the methods of getting reanimation protocols up. The toughness matches the unit, so the toughness 4 doesn't really matter too much. Potentially goes to toughness 5 with Lich Guard and Immortals. You can also take them alone. You don't necessarily need to take them in a unit. You can still pay 40 points and just have them on their own for doing things like the actions, the new version of actions, which is you just can't shoot and charge, and then you can do something, whether it relates to secondaries or the actual mission. So there can be a cheap way of doing that. As for the cons, they've got range attacks, but they're not as good as they used to be. Only 6 inches of range. And yeah, they're not pistols anymore. They've lost the bonuses to the weapons from 9th edition. That was when you were in the same unit as not in the same unit. That's when you were in the close proximity to a Cryptek. You used to get buffs to your weapon skill and bisque skill. And finally, you can't be used with Illuminazares, which a lot of people are quite keen on. So let's get on to the Planet 40k rating for the Cryptothralls. To be honest with you guys, this is another one of those that I think just go into your list, auto include. I was very close between a 4.5 and a 5. I'm just going to go for a 5. I think everyone's taken them. It's just a question of whether you can squeeze them in, or if you've gone over budget, you maybe take them out. But a lot of people are just having them in and then not even looking at, taking them out. They're just taking out something completely different. So they're virtually an auto include. So that's what I'm going to go with, a 5-star rating. So guys, remember to like on your exits. Thank you all for watching. See you in the next one.